Hi, my name is Jamie Smith. I'm a sales engineer here at Enable Technologies, and what we're going to go through here today is our new N-central 8.2. What we will do here today is we'll go through an architecture slide, then we'll go directly into the UI, go through some of the features, benefits, automation, and different remote control methods. So if you look at the slide here, the architecture, the N-central server is over here on the left. Okay? It's a true web-based appliance, reporting engine, database engine, as well as a notification engine, all included in that one server. Now there's two methods. You can host the N-central server at your own location, or we can actually host it for you. Whatever which way you decide best suits your organization or your company, we can accommodate that, and the features that you're going to see here today are essentially the same thing. Now if this represents one of your client sites over here, what we would do is install a piece of software that we call a probe on an existing device at that customer site. This device can either be a server or it can be a workstation. For example, if it's a Vista or a Windows 7 machine, you can install the probe there. You tell it to go out based upon an IP range and discover all devices within that IP range. That includes desktops, that includes servers, that includes routers, firewalls, printers, anything with an IP address. It's going to take that information, push it out through the firewall, over the internet, where it's all encrypted, uses HTTPS, back to your N-central server here, where you can view all the information in real time using your web-based dashboard. Now, since the probe can monitor all these different types of devices, it utilizes different protocols to discover and monitor those different devices. So, for example, if you're monitoring a printer, the probe will actually do an SNMP request to that printer, grab the metrics, take the metrics, push them out through the firewall, over the internet, back to your N-central server. The probe can also gather syslogs from the firewall. So the probe is actually a syslog server. You set it up on the probe to send its syslogs to the probe. We have templates for SonicWall, ASAs. You add the template and all monitoring is enabled, and it will notify you upon different severities or criticalities of events as identified by whatever firewall vendor you're using. Then to gather the information on workstations and servers, it uses WMI to grab that information, once again, take it, push it out through the firewall, over the internet, back to your N-central server. Now, in addition to probes, we also have agents, and agents get installed on the local device that you want to monitor. So when you install an agent on this device, it'll make a call to the API, grab the information, and report back to the N-central server independently of the probe. We have agents for Mac, we have agents for Novell, Linux, as well as all the different Windows flavors. So now that we've gone through agents, probes, the N-central server, and the overall architecture of N-central, what we're going to do now is dive into the N-central UI and look at all the different features that are available through 8.2. Now before I actually log into the UI, a couple of things I want to point out from the logon screen is anywhere you see N-central, any of the text, any of the colors, you can brand this and customize it to give it your look and feel. Now this is valuable for a couple of reasons. First off, you have to make it your own solution so that when you demo a customer, you're not simply reselling N-central, you're selling your own unique solution. And then secondly, for any of you that have any customers with an existing IT staff, they can log into their portal directly through here. So all the text boxes or text information that you see here, put new ideas or new solutions that your company is currently offering so that when they log in, they can read it, be informed about it, and ask you questions rather than have a salesperson trying to contact them. So once we log in directly to N-central, the first thing that you're presented with is the active issues view. Okay? This active issues view gives you a 1,000-foot overview of anything that you want to see across all of your customers, representing warnings, failures. There's a filter here, for example, that you can filter on. I just want to see the warnings with my workstations, the failures with my workstations. It updates automatically in the background. You can see all your Exchange servers, all problems associated with those, and you can create and customize these filters to essentially fit the needs of your technicians or what your technicians want to see. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the All Devices view. So with the All Devices view, you can essentially use filters to find any different combinations of applications that are installed, specific networking. For example, you can run a filter on all servers that are using a specific gateway or on a specific subnet. You can find a specific device that have Adobe, all devices that have Adobe 10, for example. Once you select that filter, all your results will update in the background here. From here you can select those devices, and then you can push out an update for Adobe. You can run an endpoint security scan. You can execute a script on those devices. So with the combination of filters and having all your devices listed across all of your customers, medial tasks such as updating Adobe or updating Java that people really don't like become really easy with regards to filtering, finding those devices, and updating those specific applications. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is going to be dashboards. You can customize these dashboards however you see fit, however your technicians see fit. As an example, if Joe, for example, only looks after Exchange devices, you can create an Exchange dashboard and list all your Exchange servers across all of your customers. If Joe looks after customer A, B, and C, and he only wants to see devices from customer A, B, and C, you can set up a specific dashboard for him, customize it with a filter so only devices from customer A, B, and C show up. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the endpoint security. All of the different options that I'm going to mention here, endpoint security, backup manager, as well as the integrated patch management, is going to follow the same pretense with regards to profiles. You can manage it at a global level, you can manage it at a customer level, or you can manage it at a device level. So if we take a look at the endpoint security module here, you select profiles. It will always include a default profile, and within those specific profile options you have Exchange, Windows servers, and Windows workstations. Each one of the components is broken up further with regards to anti-spam, antivirus, content filtering, as well as a TruePrevent module. If you just take a look at any of the modules here and expand upon that, you can see all the different settings that are configurable within that specific module. So files to include, exclude, if you want to do a desktop warning, all the different options that you're familiar with regards to an AV setup. Now the great thing about this is the profiles that you set up at a global level for any of these three solutions that I'm going to go through can be set up to be your default and automatically added to a device when it comes into N-central. And what we'll actually do at the end of the N-central 8.2 demonstration is tie it all together, all neatly into a rule, so that all the different options that we're going to go through here will be automated based upon a device coming into N-central, whether it's discovered by the probe or whether you have an agent installed on it. If we take a look at the next option, patch management, this is patching done directly through integration with WSUS. You can set up a WSUS server on the customer site. You could have a global WSUS server, or you can have a combination thereof depending upon your customers. Usually smaller customers go to a hosted WSUS server at your site, whereas larger customers, especially for bandwidth considerations, will have their own WSUS server on site. The great thing about patch management through N-central is, just like endpoint security, patch management is configured and set up using profiles. So all of these different profiles here, you can see the options that are available. You can select those options, and when you apply this to a device, it writes all these options directly to the registry, so no need for any type of GPO or anything along those lines to configure patch management with WSUS. You use the profiles here, apply it to the devices, and it's applied to the customer. The new feature with 8.2 is Backup Manager. Backup Manager essentially works the same as the endpoint security, the same as the patch management profiles that you're familiar with. And if you select those profiles, you see all the different options that are available directly to manage through N-central from one central console to manage your backups. So if we take a look at the specific profiles itself, and under the backup settings here, you have all the configuration with regards to where do you want these backups to go. And you can select a NAS, a USB drive. This is on the local area network. You can choose whether or not you want to back up all volumes. If you're doing a bare metal restore, you need to back up all volumes, and you can do a bare metal restore to dissimilar hardware. You can go from hardware to virtual or from virtual to hardware. So a lot of people actually use the backup solution. As more people are converting hardware devices to virtual devices, they'll do a bare metal restore or do a full backup on the hardware device and then do a bare metal restore directly to the virtual device. They find it a lot easier and a lot more efficient with regards to time in converting their hardware machines to virtual machines. Now, one of the great features of Backup Manager essentially is that you only have to do one full backup, and then you would do incremental backups. The number of incrementals that can be included or actually set up is 1344. At 1345, it will take that backup, merge it back into the full one, and then continue on with your 1344 incrementals. So once again, you only have to do one true full backup. The rest are incremental. At the end of how many incrementals you select, it merges it back into the full backup and then continues on with the incrementals. You can also choose to compress. So different options with regards to no compression, VHD, standard compression, and maximum compression. What you choose here really depends. Obviously, if you have maximum compression, it's going to be more device intensive. If you have no compression, the file is going to be larger. The different settings with regards to scheduling, when you want the backups to run, there's a full backup already scheduled every time you add Backup Manager to a device, so you don't need to actually change anything within here. And this is where you choose how often you want to do the incrementals. So you remember in the last screen, we chose 7 incremental backups. The time period is 1 day, so we're doing one full backup, and then we're doing an incremental every day for 7 days. You can also verify the backup. It'll perform a confidence check on the data, and you can set it up to actually notify you that that specific backup was good. There's also advanced settings with regards to if you have an Exchange or a SQL log, you can choose to automatically truncate the logs. It has a granular restore option where you can restore a specific email even within your Exchange server. And for environments that are limited with regards to bandwidth, you can also throttle the backup speed. That's going to help you with regards to transferring data from the backup device to the backup location if need be. There's also file copy options. So you can do a file copy and a file copy delete sources. What this allows you to do is essentially take a specific file off a device and copy it to another location. So within Backup Manager, you essentially have the option to have 3 different copies of data. With the file copy option, if I choose to, when I'm backing up my laptop here, if I choose to set up a file copy option for jamie.doc, it'll take that file, copy it to another location, which can include Windows Azure, it can include Amazon, or you can even set up Eucalyptus Walrus and send it directly to your own data center. Whether or not I want to choose file copy delete sources is after I have that file at the remote location, do I want to delete it off the local source. Then you also have copy recovery points. The copy recovery points, essentially if you choose to do a copy recovery point after 5 backups, it will take the incremental backup, merge it into the full backup, and then copy this restore file or bare metal restore file somewhere else where you can use it at a later date if need be. So as I mentioned, the great thing about Backup Manager is that it allows you to create 3 different copies of data, store them in different locations, and you can choose how many you actually create depending upon the offering that you have to your customer. So what level of backup management are you providing to your customer? Obviously, if they have 3 copies enabled, then they may be a premium backup customer. where just a standard backup customer has the bare metal restore, infinite incrementals, but none of the file copy options or extra recovery points. Once you install it on the specific device, the device itself actually automatically adds a service. So if you take a look at this device here, it adds the Backup Manager events and the Backup Manager status. You select that service here and it shows you all the information pertaining to that specific backup and what status it's in. So you see your destination drive, free space, destination drive, free space as a percentage, your metrics on your full backup, your incremental backup, if you have the verify backup on, and it will check all of these different settings, and you can set up notifications based upon failed events. So the great thing about Backup Manager directly through N-central is it's one central pane of glass. It's automatically deployed through N-central. Same thing as endpoint security. So once you check install Backup Manager on a specific device, right here, it will copy Backup Installer to the probe, cache it, and then deploy it to all the devices that you select to have Backup Manager installed on. So once you have your Backup Manager installed, you have your profiles, your backup is actually completing. You can then also run reports directly on that backup through N-central as well. You take a look at the Backup Manager status, just like any of the other reports, it can be automatically scheduled, sent directly to you. Okay, so select your time period, select your backup types, then choose View Report. This will show all the information with regards to your backups within your customer. So this is something that you can include for your backup customers as part of your monthly reports that you send to them or your quarterly reports. Now that we've gone through all the different options with regards to the active issues view, the all devices view, the integrated patch, the integrated endpoint security and antivirus, as well as the integrated backup, now we're going to take a look at a couple of different scenarios that would help every technician with regards to their daily tasks. So if you take a look at a reactive customer essentially will call you when they have a specific problem. Now within N-central we have a couple of different ways where they can contact you. We actually have a systray icon here which can get pushed out to your reactive customers, or say for example your fully managed customers. The icon itself can be branded to be your logo. It shows the specific computer information, and within here you can choose, for example, to chat directly with support, so they can use this to chat directly with you. You as a technician would then have this screen open here. When they select, you can choose to route it to specific customers. You can chat, you can take control of their specific computer, send them an answer file, do diagnostics on their specific computer so you know what you're dealing with. So if you haven't got them set up within N-central, you can use the systray icon here to provide a link back using N-support Pro to connect directly to those devices. Within the systray icon as well, you can create a ticket, so it gives you the ability to go directly into the auto task option, log a ticket. You can also set it up so you can run a diagnostic script, or you can also email support. Now one of the cool features about emailing support is when you select that, you can choose to automatically do a screen grab of your desktop and attach it directly to the email that's sent. So if we take a look at that file, you can see it took the screen grab, attached it to the file, and can be sent directly to a person at support. One of the new things included with 8.2 is a new remote control method called Direct Connect. And what this allows you to do is connect directly to the user's desktop from which you are supporting. Now this is available for essential devices as well as professional devices. And one of the great things, like technicians have told me that 75% of the time when they're supporting a user, they need to connect directly to that desktop. So same as before, you hit the launch remote control button. What it does is establish a session and then go directly into that desktop. But while you're doing that, you can then check out the status of these specific services to see what's going on with that particular device. You can take a look at the asset info, and it actually puts a link directly into the warranty info for that specific device, which you can select that as well to see if this device is in warranty, or if it's not. And you can also take a look at what applications are installed, what services are installed on that device. When you have a background on the device that you're actually checking out or that you're supporting, you then have a direct session into that specific device. Once we have a desktop sharing session with that specific user, we can navigate through specific applications that they're having a problem with. We can launch specific applications, and you can see here how responsive the Direct Connect method is, and it will help you troubleshoot that specific user's problem. It also has the ability to accommodate multiple screens. You have the ability to copy and paste from a clipboard. You have the ability to transfer files within Direct Connect, do remote printing, and it also has drawing tools if you need to illustrate a specific feature to the user that you're supporting. Now the third scenario that we're going to go through here essentially is for a managed customer. So a managed customer essentially is paying you to not have any downtime. And when they have a specific problem, when you set up all the different notifications within N-central, you would set them up directly through rules. So if you take a look at the configuration and under the monitoring, you have rules. This is where the management and the automation comes in. So you can say, for example, if we build a specific rule, and this is what ties everything together. This is what automates the patch, the endpoint security, specific software that's installed, specific automation tasks that are done on devices. These are all tied together using rules. So if we built a workstation rule, we select our filter here, which includes all those specific rules. We go to configuration options. Do we want to enable endpoint security? If so, we can select it here, choose our profile. We can also set up to automatically add patch management. And we can also choose to back up all of our different workstations. Okay. Next, we're going to take a look at our scheduled task profile. So these are the things that we want to automatically happen once a workstation comes in directly to the N-central system. So for example, we can clear the IE data. We can do a defrag on that specific device. We can delete temp files. We can do an endpoint security scan. We can install malware bytes. And we can also monitor the smart disks on those specific workstations. So what rules do is automate a lot of the mundane tasks that a lot of technicians do not like to do. So every workstation that comes in automatically has patch enabled with a specific profile, has endpoint security enabled with a specific profile, has backup enabled with a specific profile and a custom backup location. Now we're taking care of the maintenance package. So this is a managed customer. It's all automated. Everyone that fits this list will automatically have these properties apply. Then we can also select specific monitoring options. So if we have specific managed workstation notifications, you can select them here. And then we can set a specific template. So for example, our managed customers have more in-depth monitoring than our reactive customers. Okay? So you can select the specific workstation template here that applies to those specific monitoring managed customers. So rules, tie it all together, automate it, automate the installation of software, automate the execution of specific scripts, maintenance tasks, such that when you add a customer, setup time and management time is reduced drastically. Associated with managed customers, when a managed customer requires service, they're essentially paying you not to cause them any downtime. So one of our remote control methods, aside from the Direct Connect, is also Remote Support Manager. Remote Support Manager allows you to get in there behind the scenes without interrupting the user. So in this case, the administrator here, they have no idea that we're actually logged in. We received the notifications. We need to take a look at the event viewer. Everything that you open up here opens in a tab across the top here. Once again, this allows you to be proactive with regards to your maintenance without interrupting the user, because the user considers the actual maintenance itself to be downtime, so that's why you need to do it behind the scenes without interrupting them. Now just one more thing that we wanted to go through with regards to remote control. Within N-central, we have all the features with regards to Windows, but one of the key features with regards to N-central is that we also monitor and manage all devices within the environment. So we not only monitor the workstations, the servers, but we also monitor your firewall, your switch, your router. And that's very important because if a customer is not receiving email, it may not just necessarily be the Exchange server or their workstation. It may be the switch or router or firewall in between and all those points of failure. So once you take a look down, for example, we can do a remote session directly to a Linux server if we wanted to. And that includes Telnet and SSHing directly into a router or switch as well. So same thing as before, you choose remote control. It actually launches a remote control session or establishes a secure session to that probe, which will then relay it directly to that specific Linux device, as you see in this case. We can connect via web page, for example, to a printer. So a lot of people will use printers with regards to as a value add to their customers. So they'll send the notifications, you monitor toner, you monitor page count, and you send the notifications when new toner is needed directly to the admin assistant, for example. So, and you can also launch a remote control session directly into those devices without connecting remotely to a device and then using that device to remote in. So all of this is being done directly through N-central. So now we went through endpoint security, we went through patch management, we went through the integrated backup, we've showed the remote control sessions in different scenarios, for example, for reactive customers, proactive customers, as well as managed customers. Now we're going to take a look at some of the different reports that you can actually run and show your customers exactly what they're paying you each month for the services that you provide. So just a couple of different reports that you can send to your customers. The executive summary, there's two versions of the executive summary that can be included. There's a longer 16-page executive summary which will break out the data based upon 6 different components and give you a score. And as you scroll down through, everything is presented in a nice pie chart, very easy to read, very easy to understand. And each pie chart will display the status of the services, and then there's more detail down below if you choose to view it. Okay? So it includes backup, it includes applications that are installed that shouldn't be installed, it includes traffic, overall health of the network, antivirus, as well as backup stats for that specific customer. Now this is the long version. We also have a one-page version, and it really depends upon your customers which version you send them. Some people or some customers just want to see a report to show them that you are actually doing something because they don't see you as much. And then others want to know all the details with regards to the tasks that you perform for that specific month. So this one-page report here is essentially a summary of the 16-page report that you've seen before. Gives you an overall score, number of devices, uptime, license summary, breakdown of workstation, patch, endpoint security, as well as backup. And that concludes our 8.2 demo for today. Thanks a lot and have a great day.